Once a beacon of royal unity and grace, Kensington Palace is no longer a haven of peace. A silent tempest rages behind its ancient stone walls, not with swords or shields, but with cruel whispers and calculated psychological blows. At the heart of the storm stands Catherine Kate, the Princess of Wales, a woman once celebrated for her elegant smile and unyielding spirit. Now she has wounded her dignity under siege from across the Atlantic, where Meghan Markle from her Montecito enclave hurls accusations like daggers aimed at Catherine's honor. Each story spun from afar reverberates through the royal corridors, threatening to shatter the impeccable image Catherine has cultivated for over a decade. And then there's William's stoic, prince-devoted husband and heir to the throne who can no longer stand idly by. Before the eyes of millions, he vows to shield his wife at all costs, severing forever the drama-fueled ties between two women once called sisters-in-law. Kensington Palace. October 2022. The air in Kensington Palace's marble-lined corridors feels stifling, as if the ancient walls themselves are soaked in unrest. The light streaming through towering windows, once a backdrop for dazzling receptions, now seems dim-cloaked in an unnamed gloom. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, once the crown jewel of the monarchy, with her poised smile and quiet resilience, is retreating into shadow. Her absence from internal meetings is no longer dismissible. Long-serving aides accustomed to her punctuality and dedication exchange worried glances. Her public appearances, meticulously planned with elegant gowns and perfectly styled hair, fail to mask a growing fragility. Her face is pale, her once rosy cheeks now a thin veil of makeup. Her eyes, once sparkling with confidence, are heavy, carrying an invisible burden. Whispers ripple through the palace. She's not ill, not physically. But those eyes, once ablaze with strength, now flicker with pain, like a flame slowly extinguished. Prince William, the steady heir with a demeanor of calm responsibility, notices every detail. He sees Catherine's hands tremble as she holds a teacup in their private drawing room, thinking no one notices. He hears her voice strain to stay composed during intimate dinners, deftly dodging questions about her health with vague replies. "I'm fine," she says, but her smile doesn't reach her eyes. William doesn't press. He knows the cause isn't a secret, a media storm fueled by leaks from Harry's memoir, Spare, and the Sussex's Netflix docuseries has left scars that won't fade. Each of Harry's interviews, each of Meghan's carefully crafted insinuations, lands like a blow, not just against the monarchy, but directly at Catherine, who has spent a decade building a flawless reputation. Spare dredges up private moments, conversations meant to stay buried, now twisted and exposed. The Netflix series paints a skewed portrait Catherine as part of an oppressive machine. Each word is a deliberate cut slicing into her pride and patience. One October night, in the hushed stillness of their Kensington quarters, Catherine lets her guard slip. The soft glow of a crystal chandelier highlights the exhaustion etched into her features. Seated in a velvet-upholstered armchair, her hands clasped tightly, she meets William's gaze. Her voice is soft but sharp. "William, staying silent won't make them stop. It's draining me to the point I can't go on." Her words cut through the calm. William has clung to his jaw, tightening, his blue eyes flashing with conflict. He understands. This isn't a physical ailment, it's a psychological war, deliberate and brutal. Meghan's veiled accusations, Harry's public betrayals, have worn down Catherine's resilience, exposing a painful truth: the royal family is no longer a united front. It's a battlefield with Catherine trapped in the crossfire. William doesn't respond immediately. He rises steps to the window and stares into the dark gardens beyond. Anger surges within him, but he suppresses it. His response isn't a burst of rage, but a cold resolve. Behind his composed exterior, a strategist awakens. The man who has spent years cultivating an image of restraint is now sharpening a political spear, one aimed at the heart of Harry and Meghan's influence. He turns back to Catherine and nods subtly. No vows are spoken, but she knows William has chosen to fight not just for the crown, but for her. Under California's blazing sun, Meghan Markle crafts a new story in her glass-walled Montecito mansion. No longer bound by royal protocol, she is free, a symbol of independence, with ambitions far beyond Kensington's walls. But her star is fading. Business ventures from fashion lines to reality TV are flopping. Lucrative media deals once poised to cement her status are unraveling. The British public, once captivated by her story, now greets her with cold silence. Meghan, ever sharp, knows she's cornered. But surrender isn't in her nature. She understands the power of narrative, the ability of carefully chosen words to shift perceptions and stir the masses. In her sunlit study, surrounded by shelves of celebrity biographies, she plots her boldest move, yet a book titled That Duchess. This isn't just a memoir, it's a weapon designed to reshape the royal narrative on her terms. Her fingers fly across the keyboard, each chapter written with a strategist's precision, knowing a book packed with shocking revelations will command global attention. By August 2023, leaked excerpts from The Duchess spread like wildfire across American tabloids. The chapter, Crocodile Tears at Kensington, becomes the talk of every newsroom. In it, Meghan recounts a moment before her 2018 wedding to Harry, claiming Catherine broke down during a dispute over bridesmaid dresses. With a biting tone, Meghan calls it a staged performance, an attempt by Catherine to steal the spotlight and paint herself as a fragile victim. Those tears weren't from hurt, they were for control, she writes. She knew how to turn people against me, and she did it perfectly. The message is crystal clear. Catherine, the public's perfect princess, is a fraud manipulating emotions to secure her place in the monarchy. The news crosses the Atlantic, reaching Prince William. One foggy morning, a brown envelope lands on his Kensington desk, containing a pirated manuscript of That Duchess, sent by a trusted contact at a New York publisher. Dressed in a dark suit, William sits in his study, the glow of a desk lamp illuminating the tension in his face. He turns each page, his blue eyes scanning the text, a red pen in hand, underlining every attack on his wife. The room is silent save for the dry rustle of pages and the steady scratch of his pen. Meghan's words aren't just a story, they're daggers honed to inflict maximum damage, targeting not just Catherine but the values she embodies: duty, loyalty, and quiet sacrifice. The bridesmaid story is twisted into a portrait of a cold, calculating Catherine, willing to use tears to sway public opinion. William's blood boils, but he remains composed, his grip tightening on the pen, leaving deep red marks on the paper. When he reaches the final page, William closes the book with a soft thud, a silent declaration of war. He doesn't shout or slam his fist. Instead, he pulls a small note from his desk drawer and writes in sharp, cold script, "Review all media strategies for the coming year." She is no longer part of the royal structure. The next day, in a private meeting at Clarence House, William enters with the manuscript in hand. The room feels heavy, as if everyone senses the storm about to break. Senior aides and media strategists sit around an oak table, their eyes cautious. William places the manuscript at the center, like evidence of betrayal. His note is passed among the aides, and no questions are asked. No explanations are needed. Everyone understands a line has been drawn. From that moment, Meghan Markle's name vanished from internal royal documents. News releases, press briefings, and strategic plans erase her existence. Photos featuring her are moved to hidden archive folders, never to be accessed. Speeches, public or private, are crafted to avoid any hint of the Sussexes. This isn't a public expulsion, no screaming headlines, no grand palace statements. It's a surgical removal executed with the precision of a future king who knows silence can be the sharpest weapon. Catherine, unaware of the manuscript, senses a shift in William's demeanor. She notices him working late meetings, stretching into the night, his study's light burning past 2 a.m. Whispers with aides from which she's excluded grow frequent. In rare moments together, she sees a new resolve in his eyes, a wordless determination, as if he's preparing for a battle she's not yet privy to. One evening in their private sitting room, she touches his hand. "What's happening, William?" she asks, her voice soft but anxious. He looks at her, his gaze softening briefly, but doesn't answer directly. Instead, he takes her hand, squeezing gently, a silent vow. Catherine doesn't press. Deep down, she knows William is acting not just for the monarchy, but for her, the woman who has stood by him through every storm. Sandringham Estate, January 2024. Sandringham, the timeless refuge of royal tradition, becomes the stage for a decisive gambit. In the biting January dusk, the heavy oak doors of Sandringham's library close, sealing off the outside world from an uncompromising private summit. Firelight dances on wood-paneled walls, but it can't dispel the bone-chilling tension. Prince William, heir to the throne, stands tall, hands clasped behind his back, his piercing gaze sweeping the room. His closest advisors, seasoned palace strategists, sit around a long table silent as statues, none daring to break the oppressive quiet. William steps to the head of the table, his calm demeanor radiating an authority that thickens the air. His voice is low, each word a command. That Duchess manuscript is a direct threat. We won't destroy it, that would only inflame American public opinion and martyr her. Instead, we'll ensure it never sees the light of day. I want every publishing door slammed shut on Meghan Markle. The room falls silent save for the crackling fire. The advisors used to dissecting every royal strategy exchange cautious glances. They know this isn't impulsive, it's a calculated move to neutralize Meghan's book without sparking an open war. William continues, his tone icy but commanding. We won't engage directly. We won't give her the stage to play victim. But from today, every path to her relevance will be blocked. This maneuver, dubbed internally as the soft lock, is a subtle but ruthless strike. Instead of destroying the manuscript, a move that could rally Meghan and Harry's American supporters, William orders a covert strategy to halt its publication. He directs the palace's media team to quietly contact major publishers in the US and UK, leveraging the royal family's long-standing connections to deliver a clear message. Any publisher daring to print that Duchess will face an unspoken boycott from royal-affiliated charities, media outlets, and institutions. I don't want a formal ban, William says, his eyes flashing with resolve. I want them to back off because they know the cost. To execute the plan, William appoints a senior advisor, a former diplomat with deep ties to the publishing world. This operative is tasked with discreet meetings with executives at giants like Penguin Random House and HarperCollins, not to threaten but to suggest that publishing the book carries unacceptable risks. These meetings occur in private rooms, unrecorded, but the message is unmistakable. Aligning with Meghan means losing favor with influential British and Commonwealth entities. William also orders the palace's legal team to scrutinize the manuscript for any hint of libel or privacy violations. We won't sue her, he says, his voice unwavering. But I want publishers to know that proceeding means facing serious legal risks. The lawyers compile a detailed dossier highlighting contentious passages, especially those targeting Catherine, and discreetly share it with publishers as a reminder of potential fallout. William's strategy extends further. He orders a review of all palace international communications, particularly with charities and events once tied to the Sussexes. I want to ensure no organization accidentally gives her a platform, he declares. A secret task force is formed to monitor Meghan's public moves, from social media posts to interview invitations, to anticipate and neutralize any efforts to promote her book or bolster her image. International partners, from African charities to US cultural organizations, are quietly informed that collaborating with Meghan could jeopardize their ties with the royal family. In Montecito, Meghan feels the walls closing in. Publishing negotiations, once promising, stall inexplicably. Executives who were eager to back that Duchess now cite internal issues or scheduling conflicts. Some stop responding altogether. Interview opportunities she hoped would promote the book are met with indifference. Invitations to high-profile events, once a steady stream, dry up. Even friendly journalists, once her allies, quietly retreat, blaming busy schedules or vague excuses. Meghan, with her performer's instincts, knows this isn't coincidence. Pacing her elegant Montecito office, the glittering Pacific Ocean outside, she mutters, "They're blocking me." Her usual confidence wavers. She has no proof, no public statement to counter, but she feels the royal family's invisible hand tightening around her. Their silence is a weapon. She can't fight a wall she can't scale. Meanwhile, in London, William emerges from the Sandringham summit with a quiet authority. He feels no triumph, no glee. To him, this is a necessary step, part of the duty he carries to protect Catherine, the monarchy, and ensure past wounds stay sealed. As he gazes over Sandringham's misty fields, a thought flickers. This isn't the end, but the start of a long game, one that will render Meghan Markle and her book a distant memory. London, October 24. With William's silent ban in place, no official royal invitations reach Montecito. The doors of Kensington and Clarence House are sealed, and every path to royal events is barred. Yet fate has a way of forcing adversaries into the same orbit. An international charity gala in London, hosted by a prestigious NGO to fund education in developing nations, unwittingly sets the stage for an unwanted reunion. Held at a lavish central London convention center, The event draws global luminaries, including Catherine, its chief patron, and Harry and Meghan, invited by an international partner, unaware of the royal rift. William, learning of the Sussexes' attendance, tries to have their invitation revoked, but time is too short and cancellation risks unwanted media scrutiny. Instead, he orders heightened oversight, ensuring every moment is tightly controlled. Photographers are instructed to capture only pre-approved images, and the palace's media team is stationed at every corner to monitor Meghan and Harry's moves. The venue, adorned with white silk drapes and the soft chandelier, light hums with unspoken tension. Catherine arrives in a sapphire silk gown, elegant yet understated, her gentle smile masking weary eyes. She glides among guests with her signature grace, but her gaze darts across the room, searching for an unseen threat. Meghan, in an ivory gown with sharp tailoring, enters with a performer's confidence, her radiant smile belying the sharp calculation in her eyes. Harry at her side looks strained, his hands fidgeting as if suppressing an emotion he can't voice. The evening unfolds under strict control. Palace staff, trained to spot any deviation, stand vigilant, their eyes locked on the Sussexes. Catherine keeps her distance from Meghan, moving between guest groups to maintain a safe buffer. But in a quiet moment, as guests gather on the outdoor terrace to enjoy the cool air, Meghan finds Catherine. She stands alone by a small fountain garden, lights casting a soft glow on her face, revealing fatigue her makeup can't fully hide. Meghan approaches her, steps light but deliberate, like a predator closing in. The air between them thickens, the tension palpable. "You look well, Catherine," Meghan says, her voice syrupy but laced with venom. "Recovered nicely from those health rumors, haven't you?" Catherine freezes, the words slicing into wounds she's buried for months. Her eyes flash with anger, but she turns away, hiding a tremble. Meghan, seizing the moment, presses on with mock warmth. "We should take a photo together, don't you think? Show everyone we're still friendly, right?" Catherine's heart pounds. She knows this isn't innocent. Every move Meghan makes is calculated, and this photo could become a weapon. But with nearby guests, including international journalists, watching quietly, and the pressure to uphold the charity's unity, Catherine reluctantly nods. Meghan raises her phone, capturing Catherine's strained smile. Within an hour, the photo is sent to California and posted on an unofficial social media account with a pre-written caption. Catherine looks radiant. Who'd believe those health rumors? All seems fine, like no drama ever happened. The image goes viral overnight. Tabloid headlines scream, "Catherine faking strength, Princess of Wales deceiving." Vicious comments flood online, tearing apart the fragile shield Catherine has built. In her Kensington quarters, she collapses. A panic attack hits her breath, shallow hands shaking as she clutches her chest. Palace staff rush her to a private hospital for treatment. It's not Meghan's words or the photo. It's the cruel message behind them. Catherine isn't allowed to be weak. Meghan has used her forced smile to erase her real pain, turning her into a global laughingstock. The next morning, when William learns of Catherine's condition, his eyes darken. He stands motionless in his study hands, gripping the desk until his knuckles whiten. A staffer from the event reports the photo was posted from an account linked to Meghan's PR team, though no direct proof exists. William doesn't need more. In that moment, a decision crystallizes, not just to end any chance of reconciliation, but to reshape the royal future. Kensington's once live corridors, filled with the laughter of young princes, now echo only with the hurried steps of cautious staff, moving as if on thin ice. Catherine, after her hospital stay, is whisked to a private Norfolk estate to recover per her doctor's orders. But her absence doesn't quell the storm brewing in William's heart. He grows more withdrawn, his gaze steely, his late-night strategy sessions stretching into dawn. William knows Meghan's photo wasn't just provocation, it was war. It didn't just hurt Catherine. It exposed a bitter truth. Despite his efforts, the monarchy remains vulnerable to distant attacks. Meghan, with her sharp instincts, turned an innocent moment into a media weapon, and the drama-hungry public amplified it. William won't let it happen again. He assembles a new team of advisors, including political campaign veterans, to craft a long-term plan to neutralize the Sussexes' influence. In a secure Clarence House meeting room, William stands before a large whiteboard mapping out the Sussexes' media connections, publishers, and international allies. Red marker in hand, he traces lines circling vulnerabilities. "We stopped the book," he says, his voice low but commanding. "But she won't stop. I want every remaining door locked, not just in Britain but globally." His advisors nod, scribbling furiously, none daring to interrupt. This is no longer personal, it's a campaign to secure the monarchy's future, dubbed the Invisible Wall. William's new strategy avoids public confrontation, instead deploying subtle measures to isolate Meghan and Harry from public platforms. The palace's media team works with major outlets, BBC, ITV, Netflix, Spotify, to ensure Sussex-related projects face intense scrutiny or quiet rejection. International charity sponsors, once backers of Harry and Meghan's initiatives, are discreetly warned that collaboration could strain ties with other royal entities. William also launches a sophisticated media campaign to restore Catherine's image. Instead of high-profile events where she's vulnerable to scrutiny, he orders a series of social media posts and short videos highlighting her past charity work. Images of Catherine reading to school children or comforting struggling families are carefully edited to showcase her sincerity and dedication. The unspoken message is clear. Catherine is neither victim nor manipulator. She's a woman devoted to others. In Montecito, Meghan feels her world shrinking. TV projects she banked on are canceled without explanation. Sponsors pull back, citing strategic shifts. Even Hollywood media allies grow distant, their responses delayed or absent. Alone in her luxurious office, Meghan scrolls through articles and social media, searching for support, but finding only mockery or apathy. "What are they doing to me?" she whispers, her voice trembling with rage and helplessness. Harry, caught in the middle, feels the weight intensify. He loves Meghan, but recent months have sparked doubts about their path. Rare calls to England end in silence or curt rejections from family. In a moment of vulnerability, he texts William asking about Catherine. The message goes unanswered. Staring at his phone, Harry feels the final door to home slam shut. In Norfolk, Catherine's recovery is slow and painful. She tends the estate's garden, nurturing flower beds with care, as if seeking lost peace. William, despite his packed schedule, calls her nightly. Their talks are brief but meaningful. "I'm doing everything I can, Kate," he says, his voice warm. Catherine offers a faint smile over the screen. "I know, William. I trust you." But a quiet fear lingers. Will these wounds ever truly heal? Buckingham Palace, spring 2025. London glows under rare spring sunshine, but Buckingham Palace's atmosphere is as heavy as a winter frost. An extraordinary summit is called, not for state affairs or royal ceremonies, but to decide the Sussex's fate within the monarchy. William, now an unyielding leader, enters the meeting room with a presence that commands respect even from veteran advisors. In his hand is a slim, top-secret dossier, the culmination of months of planning. The meeting unfolds in near total silence, broken only by the rustle of pages and William's steady voice. "We've given them too many chances," he says, his gaze sweeping the room. "They've chosen their path, and now we draw the final line." The dossier outlines a formal proposal drafted with royal lawyers to strip Harry and Meghan of their remaining titles, including Duke and Duchess of Sussex. It's a weighty decision requiring the King's approval and risking global backlash, but William is prepared. He presents his case with clarity and steel. This isn't revenge, he insists, though his eyes betray cold resolve. It's about protecting the monarchy's integrity. "We can't allow ongoing external attacks to undermine what we stand for." His advisors, initially hesitant, are swayed by his logic. With mounting media pressure and Catherine's fragility, the monarchy has no choice but to act decisively. After 3 tense hours, the decision is made. A brief, carefully worded statement will be released the following week, announcing that Harry and Meghan, due to activities inconsistent with royal duties, will lose their titles and all ties to the palace. The statement avoids personal details, focusing on the monarchy's interests to minimize public backlash. When the news reaches Montecito, Meghan and Harry react with shock and fury. Meghan, in her opulent living room, rereads the statement on her laptop, her hands shaking with rage. "They can't do this," she says, her voice rising. "They have no right." But deep down, she knows they can and have. Harry, by the window overlooking the ocean, is silent. He feels the last piece of his royal identity slip away, questioning if their pursuit of freedom was worth it. In Norfolk, Catherine learns of the decision via a brief call from William. Seated by a fireplace, her face regaining some color, she listens. "Is it over?" she asks, her voice soft but emotional. William pauses before answering. "Not entirely, Kate, but this time I've made sure they can't hurt you again." Catherine nods unseen by him, a single tear falling, not from pain but from relief, the first glimmer of hope in years. In London, William steps out of Buckingham Palace, spring sunlight glinting off his dark suit. He doesn't smile or pause for the waiting reporters. In his mind, the battle isn't over, but he's won a crucial victory. The monarchy, though scarred, stands firm. And Catherine, the woman he loves, finally has a chance to heal.